Hi everyone, so welcome to one more fantastic 5 MCQs. Myself Dr. BHARATH KUMAR, your pharma faculty. Let us start with the first MCQ. ECG changes, so you are seeing tall T waves. Patient is on antihypertensive drug. What can be the cause of this tall T wave on ECG? You all know the tall T wave is generally due to hyperkalemia. So the question is indirectly asking you which antihypertensive can lead to hyperkalemia. Options are atenolol, prazosin, spironolactone, hydrochlorothiazide. Thiazides, they decrease potassium. Now prazosin is an alpha blocker. Two drugs can increase potassium, the beta blocker like atenolol and spironolactone. Now the most common or the most appropriate answer will be spironolactone because it is a potassium sparing diuretic. Obviously it increases potassium. If both are there in the option, obviously we will go for spironolactone. So because when we give spironolactone, the potassium goes up and you can see tall T waves. So that is why spironolactone should not be combined with ACE inhibitor or ARBs. Even if you combine them, there is a risk of increase in potassium levels. That is one interactions you have to keep in the mind. Now what should I know from this MCQ? What major drugs cause hyperkalemia? There are plenty of drugs, but let us understand the important ones. All the drugs affecting RAAS pathway. What is RAAS pathway? Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. So here who comes to the picture is aldosterone. What does aldosterone do? Aldosterone decreases potassium. So if I block this pathway, aldosterone is not synthesized and potassium will go up. So all these drugs affecting RAAS pathway will increase potassium. So what are those? Number one, the renin inhibitor, and the name is called aliskiren. Then we have beta blockers. Then we have ACE inhibitor. Then we have ARBs. And the aldosterone antagonist, spironolactone. So these drugs can increase potassium. Not only that, potassium sparing diuretics, as the name suggests, they increase potassium. The mnemonic is PASTE. P for potassium sparing, A is amyloride, S is spironolactone, T is triamterene, and E, what is E for? Come on. Yes, you have to guess me. E is eplerenone. Then NSAIDs, so that is 5. You should not combine ACE inhibitor plus NSAIDs. Now why we should not combine ACE inhibitor with NSAID? Number one, they can increase potassium both. And the antihypertensive effect of ACE inhibitor will be decreased by NSAID combination. Succinylcholine increases potassium. Calcineurin inhibitor like cyclosporine, tacrolimus can also increase potassium. These are the major drugs I am telling you. Once I know which cause hyperkalemia, let us discuss hyperkalemia causing drugs. Beta-2 agonist, adrenaline and salbutamol. Aldosterone, just now I told you, aldosterone or its preparations can decrease potassium. Diuretics, particularly the thiazides. Then loop diuretics. Carbonic anhydrase inhibitor like astazolamide can do that. Amphotericin B, an anti-cancer drug, cisplatin, can decrease potassium. So that is about potassium. Coming to the next MCQ. Drug therapy for hepatitis B. So there are options: PEG interferon alpha, tenofovir, sofosbuvir, velpatasvir. Now the drug of choice for hepatitis B is tenofovir. You can also use interferon alpha, but the best one will be tenofovir. Now anything ending with bovir, it is NS5B inhibitor. Anything ending with asvir is NS5A inhibitor. And one more thing I will tell you, paritaprevir. Anything ending with previr, It's a protease inhibitor. Now these are new drugs. What are the new drugs? Bovir, Asvir, Previr. They are all direct acting new drugs for hepatitis C. These are for hepatitis C. Now tell me in the comment section what is the drug of choice for cytomegalovirus. Tell me in the comment section. Okay. Now what should I learn from this MCQ? What are the drugs for hepatitis B? What are the drugs for hepatitis B? Number 1, remember the mnemonic, eat drugs. Number 2, tell me the drugs, tell drugs. Eat drug is entecavir, then adifovir, and tell B, woodine drugs. The tell drugs are tenofovir, M3-citabine, and lamivudine. Among all these options, the first two are the best drugs for hepatitis B. And among them, which is the drug of choice, if they ask you, tenofovir is the best option compared to entecavir. What is the specialty of these tell drugs? These tell drugs, they are used for both hepatitis B also. They are also used to manage HIV also. That is also been tested frequently. Let us move on to the next question. A child was confused and looked irritable. He had not passed urine, meaning urine retention from morning, photophobia, and eaten something while playing in the field. Which is the likely poisoning and what is the antidote? Now, how to come to the answer? Let us understand. Now, since they have given Datura and yellow oleander, now what is the Datura? First of all, Datura is atropine. So we have to suspect one atropine. Oleander, they will have cardiac glycoside-like property like digoxin. So what is the problem with atropine-like drugs? Atropine-like drugs, they cause dilation of pupil, blurring of vision, photophobia. They cause urine retention, constipation, tachycardia, increase in heart rate, all those things. Cardiac glycoside, they cause dysarrhythmias, they cause arrhythmia, and they mainly cause GAT upset. They are not going to do anything with the vision. So since they have given the vision problem, then urine retention, I will go for Datura. So either it can be A or B. But I have asked the antidote. What is the antidote for Datura? The antidote is physostigmine, so I will go for answer B. So like this you can rule out and come to the answer. Why not answer cardiac glycoside? I told you they cause arrhythmia and GAT upset mainly. Atropine mainly causes urine retention, constipation, tachycardia, blurring of vision, photophobia. So I will come to this answer. Now let us understand in detail. This is the Datura which commonly grows in the field. You can see the seeds of Datura. And the antidote for Datura or Atropa belladonna poisoning is, as you know, physostigmine. Why is it physostigmine? Because it can cross blood-brain barrier. Why pyridostigmine is not the answer? Pyridostigmine cannot be used because it doesn't cross blood-brain barrier. So this is ruled out. So coming to this is the yellow oleander and it is cardiotoxic. Now it is similar to cardiac glycoside digoxin. So here also we manage like digoxin poisoning. We do gastric lavage. We give activated charcoal to prevent reabsorption and absorption. And then we maintain electrolytes by giving IV fluids and electrolytes. And you can also use the antidote digibind or digifab here. This is how we manage yellow oleander. So we understood the answer for this question is it is Datura and the drug of choice is physostigmine. Coming to another question, a patient with OP poisoning, organophosphate poisoning, was started on atropine infection. Sorry, not infection, infusion. We know that OP poisoning, the antidote is atropine, and he is also given oxime, prolactin. You know, prolactin should be given within 6 to 8 hours. It is an enzyme reactivator. He develops high-grade fever after 2 hours. What is the likely cause of fever? Is it a side effect of oximes? No. Is it side effect of atropine? Yes. Is it due to OP poisoning? No. Due to the increased secretions? No. So after giving atropine, the body temperature goes up. Why? Let us analyze. So when we give atropine, what is atropine? Atropine is a muscarinic antagonist. It blocks all the muscarinic action. Now what happens? If you remember, this is sympathetic fibers. Sympathetic fibers, even though they are sympathetic, the neurotransmitter they release is acetylcholine, and it acts on M3, and that site of action is sweat gland. So when there is sympathetic activity, there is sweating. So you see sweating, correct? So we all know that in sympathetic it is mainly noradrenaline, but there are some exceptions. The exception is sweat gland, where the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, which acts on M3, and you see sweating. So when I administer atropine in OP poisoning, atropine is a muscarinic blocker. It blocks muscarinic action. So when it blocks muscarinic action, there is no sweating. No sweating. So when there is no sweating, that body temperature cannot be lost. So the body temperature goes up, leading to hyperthermia. Then what is the other way of losing body temperature? Blood vessel should dilate. So dilation of blood vessel, that's why in atropine poisoning also, person will have flushing episodes. So this is the reason why patient will have hyperthermia, because of blocking of thermoregulatory sweat glands. So why it is causing hyperthermia, high-grade fever, is due to blocking of musculoreceptor at thermoregulatory sweat glands. Coming to the last question, a female patient is with primary amenorrhea is on bromocriptine treatment. What may be the most likely diagnosis? Hyperprolactinemia, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, hypogonadism. So if you're telling hyperprolactinemia, then you're right. Then what is bromocriptine and its brother cabergoline? This bromocriptine and cabergoline, these are ergot-derived D2 agonists. Now, these are used when there is increase in prolactinemia, that is called hyperprolactinemia condition. What are the other uses of these drugs? What happens if prolactin is high? It will lead to infertility. So any infertility due to hyperprolactinemia, we can use it. Now what happens if prolactin is high? It can lead to galactoria. There also we can use it. Galactoria, and there is a tumor called prolactinoma, which is producing high amount of prolactin. And these are also approved for Parkinson's disease. So this is the use of bromocriptine and cabergoline. The answer will be hyperprolactinemia. So these are ergot-derived D2 agonist, bromocriptine and cabergoline. Now can you tell me two drugs which are used to induce ovulation in polycystic ovarian syndrome? Tell me two drugs used to induce ovulation in polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, with that we're done with the fantastic 5 MCQs. So if you find this content useful, like the video, share and subscribe to your friends. And share to your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all.